Ladies and gentlemen, to introduce the Vice President of the United States, please welcome Diane Millich.
Good afternoon. I am a Sioux Indian girl with a different face. I am known as Diane Millich, and I am a citizen of the Southern Ute Indian tribe located in Ignacio, Colorado. When I was 26 years old, I dated a non-Indian, a white man. After 6 months, we were married. My non-Indian husband moved into my house on the reservation. To my shock, just days after our marriage, he assaulted me. After a year of abuse and more than 100 incidences of being slapped, kicked, punched, and living in horrific terror, I left for good. During that year of marriage, I called the police many times. I called our Southern Ute Tribal Police Department, but the law prevented them from arresting and prosecuting my husband because he was non-Indian. The county sheriff could not help me because I am a Native woman and the beatings occurred on tribal reservation land. After one beating, my ex-husband called the tribal police and the sheriff's department himself just to show me that no one could stop him. All the times that I called the police and nothing was done only made my ex-husband believe he was above the law and untouchable. My ex-husband told me, "You promised us until death do us part, so death it shall be." Finally, he arrived at my office armed with a gun. I am alive today only because my coworker pushed me out of harm's way and took the bullet in his shoulder. For this crime, he was finally arrested. But because he had never been arrested for any of the abuse against me, he was treated as a first-time offender. The state prosecutor and him reached a plea agreement of aggravated driving under revocation. If the bill being signed today were law when I was married, it would have allowed my tribe to arrest and prosecute my abuser. When this bill is signed, the Violence Against Women Act will finally reach Native American women like me. We thank the President for all he has done for women everywhere, and we thank the Vice President for his incredible leadership. He was the leader who wrote the original VAWA and was instrumental in this bill that reauthorizes and strengthens this important law. It is now my honor to introduce Vice President Joe Biden. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Diane. Thank you. Some of you in the audience who are survivors know how much courage it takes to do what Diane did. Every single time. Some people who don't know will say, well, she's just recounting what happened. But every single time you stand and recount what happened, it brings it all back. It brings it all back like a very bad nightmare. But you're speaking out, Diane, and so many survivors like you are literally saving the lives of so many other women who, God willing, will be able to avoid the abuse that you had to put up with. I want to thank all the advocates who are here today. I got a chance to meet in my office with some of you a little bit earlier. Not only those on the stage, who I, again, had a chance to meet with, but the many women out in the audience as I look out and see some familiar faces like Pat Roos and Ellie Schmale and Paulette Sullivan Moore from I'm be parochial. Paulette Sullimore from my home state and so many others. You know, those who've been around a while with me know that I quote my father all the time, who literally would say the greatest sin that could be committed, the cardinal sin of all sins, was the abuse of power. And the ultimate abuse of power is for someone physically stronger and bigger to raise their hand and strike and beat someone else. In most cases, that tends to be a man striking a woman, or a man or woman striking a child. That's the fundamental premise and the overarching reason why John Conyers and I and others started so many years ago to draft the legislation called the Violence Against Women Act. When Congress passed this law that the President will sign today, they just didn't renew what I consider a sacred commitment to protect our mothers, our daughters, our sisters. They strengthened that commitment. And I want to thank them all. I hope I don't leave anybody out, starting off with my old buddy, Pat Leahy, who chairs the committee. Pat, thank you very, very much. And Mike Crapo. Mike, this wouldn't have happened had you not stepped up. President of the United States, my friend Barack Obama.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Well, please, everybody have a seat, have a seat. I want to thank all of you for being here. I want to thank Secretary Salazar, my great friend, for letting us into the building. Make sure everybody pick up their stray soda cans and stuff afterwards. I want to thank Attorney General Holder for joining us. Doing a great job. We usually host these bill signings over at the White House, but there were just too many of you who helped to make this happen. And you all deserve to be a part of this moment. I want to thank everybody on this stage. Joe just mentioned the extraordinary work that each and every one of these leaders, both advocates as well as legislators.
And I left out Congressman Tom Cole.
Well, there you go. Give Tom a big round of applause. But everybody on this stage worked extraordinarily hard. Most of all, though, this is your day. This is the day of the advocates, the day of the survivors. This is your victory. Say a special thanks to Pat Leahy and Mike Crapo as well. Thank you guys for your leadership. And I want to give much love to Gwen Moore, who worked so hard on this. On behalf of everybody here and all the lives that you've had a positive impact and touched through the Violence Against Women Act, the survivors who are alive today because of this law, the women who are no longer hiding in fear because of this law, the girls who are growing up aware of their right to be free from abuse because of this law. On behalf of them and all their families, I want to thank Joe Biden for making this one of the causes of his career. Because of this bill, we'll keep in place all the protections and services that Joe described. And as he said, we'll expand them to cover even more women. Because this is a country where everybody should be able to pursue their own measure of happiness and live their lives free from fear, no matter who you are, no matter who you love. That's got to be our priority. That's what today's about. Today's about all the survivors, all the advocates who are standing on this stage. But it's also about the millions more they represent, that you represent. It's about our commitment as a country to address this problem in every corner of America, every community, every town, every big city, as long as it takes. And we've made incredible progress since 1994, but we cannot let up. Not when domestic violence still kills 3 women a day. Not when 1 in 5 women will be a victim of rape in their lifetime. Not when 1 in 3 women is abused by a partner. So I promise you, not just as your president, but as a son and a husband and a father, I'm going to keep at this. I know Vice President Biden is going to keep at it. My administration is going to keep at it for as long as it takes. And I know that all the advocates up here, all the legislators, Republican and Democrat, who supported this, I know they could not be prouder of the work that they've done together. And I think I speak for all of them when we say we could not have done it without you. So with that, let me sign this bill. There you go, everybody. Thank you.